Planet Dolan. From nearly killing your friend's pet to getting intimate with inanimate objects, the Planet Dolan crew reenacts some of the best true stories from our subreddit for the stupidest thing we've ever done while drunk. I'm DustierSaturn and today I'll be on the later. Number 10 was submitted by ItsJustJillian. Gugak went to a bar once to celebrate his birthday with friends. His friends were being very generous and shouted Gugak lots and lots of shots and cocktails. After a while, Gugak was so drunk, he eventually blacked out. The next thing he remembers, he was waking up in his bed the next day. He woke up to 37 angry texts from his friend Mikhailum. When he asked what's wrong, Mikhailum replied,
"Dude, you threw my dog out of a window yelling, 'Pikachu, I choose you.'"
The dog was unharmed, however Gugak isn't allowed to pet Mikhailum's dog anymore. Number 9 was submitted by TwoPumpTony. Ooh. Sweet Commander got a little bit too excited when he went to an opening day of a baseball game once. He drank so much beer during the game that he went to a casino afterwards and bet his entire life savings on a blackjack table. He of course lost it all and then proceeded to run to an empty car park and vomit until he thought he was going to explode. He was laying in a ball while his friends tried to lift him into a car to take him home. Fortunately he recovered, but he learned a hard lesson that day. Number 8 was submitted by TheAnswersAlwaysGuns. On Nixium's 21st birthday, his cousins decided to take him to stay in their cabin in the woods to celebrate. They were drinking ferociously, and Nixium only remembers waking up with sore legs and smelling like gasoline. He asked his cousins what happened the night before. They told him that after a few hours of drinking, they drove their truck out into the woods to go shooting. However, they were so drunk that they accidentally shot the truck's gas tank and the wheels, and the airbag had deployed. They had to walk 10 long miles back to the cabin. Luckily, no one was harmed. Number 7 was submitted by DustierSaturn. Tolop went to his friend Salty Squid's birthday drinks night when he was younger, and they started doing shots, and then more shots. And after his 20-second double shot of vodka, things started getting blurry. He remembers challenging everyone to fights and yelling, "Getting naked makes you stronger on this planet." He then started flirting with a girl who he didn't know at the time. He started telling her all the things he would like to do to her breasts if he could. The next day he woke up and apologized profusely. Luckily she laughed and said it was actually kind of flattering. Number 6 was submitted by CookieGirl199. Gooby and her husband, me, were on a holiday once and we stopped by a bar. Gooby didn't have anything to drink, but I drank bottle after bottle of beer. At the end of the night, Gooby waited in the car while I finished my drink. She saw me stumble into the parking lot and then disappear. Apparently, according to her afterwards, I got into a car and gave the driver a big smooch. It was only when she screamed and I turned around to see 3 scared kids in the back seat that I realized I wasn't in the right car. I apologized and got out of the car as quickly as I could. It's a wonder she's still with me. Number 5 was submitted by JimmyJ992. On the evening before Black Friday, the biggest discount sale of the year, Ramona and Doopy decided to go for a drink before hitting the shops. They left the bar quite inebriated as they were walking to the mall. They passed a video game store and saw riots breaking out over the Xbox One and PS4. Being that they were drunk, they decided to join the riot like a mosh pit. Everyone was swinging fists, jumping around, and they had to pull each other out before they got beaten to death. They stumbled out with black eyes, laughing, confused as to why they thought that was a good idea. Number 4 was submitted by Chevelle the Cool One. When Hellbent was a teenager, he was home alone, really bored. He decided to get drunk for something to do. After a bottle of vodka, he thought it would be hilarious to make a prank call. He had a bad case of hiccups, could barely talk. Picked up the phone anyway. He dialed 911. The operator asked him, "This is 911, what is your emergency?" To which Hellbent replied,
"Hello, is your refrigerator running?"
There was a second of silence and the operator asked him if he was joking. He said, "No," as if she had just insulted his whole family. 5 minutes later, police showed up and Hellbent was sentenced to 1 month in jail. Number 3 was submitted by PushHarper. Sid went out drinking alone one night, managed to drink way too much in a short amount of time. His memory of the night was blurry, but all he knows is he somehow ended up with a bottle of lube in his hands in the middle of a highway. He remembers seeing a lot of cars and disgusted expressions on people's faces. The next day he was speaking to a friend who told Sid he saw some drunk guy trying to hump a stop sign near the woods. Sid laughed awkwardly and told him alcohol does weird things to people. Number 2 is submitted by Likeanearthquake. Pandora went to a house party once that was so boring, she got really drunk just for the entertainment. Unfortunately, she became so intoxicated that she became incredibly lewd. She walked up to her door and yelled,
"What's up, sexy?"
at the top of her lungs. She then whispered sexual things to the door and started making out with it. She doesn't remember much after that. In the morning, she felt really bad for that door. Must have felt very violated. Number 1 was submitted by me. What's the dumbest thing I've ever done while drunk? Well, something I think is equally dumb and both genius is that one time I was out with some friends, and one of those friends, it was his birthday, and it was towards the end of the night where you don't know what's happening anymore because everything's blurry and you're exhausted and everything. But we stopped to take a piss next to a tree outside this 7-Eleven, and I noticed one of my friends was trying to lift this like musty old like rancid couch, and then I went over and I thought this was brilliant. I lifted the other side of the couch, and together we started hauling it back to my friend's place. And I vaguely remember thinking, this is the best birthday present he will ever receive. And so we have this couch and we're hauling it down like this like highway. Everyone's beeping at us and we're just like, ah, this is amazing. This couch is so comfy. The couch, mind you, was covered in piss. I'm pretty sure dead rats were on it, but it would have been so comfy if you sat on it. We almost got it to his house. Then he came up and he looked at us and he's like, "You guys are fucking idiots. You guys are you're the dumbest cunts." And so we put it down like outside his house and we just patted him. We're like, "You're welcome." "You're welcome." And then we went inside his house, had a few more drinks, and then passed out. It was the best night of all time. He still owes me for that couch, by the way. I really think that was the number 1 present I've ever given to someone. Huge thanks to the folks on our Planet Dolan subreddit for submitting their stories. We have another question for you. Have you ever faced your biggest fear? Let us know on the Reddit page link below and you might be featured in a future countdown. That's it for this video. And have a good one!